Hello all and welcome to the next lecture of microwave engineering series. Till now we have discussed about the basics of a planar waveguide, and we have also discussed the propagation of transverse electric, transverse magnetic and transverse electromagnetic wave in case of a planar waveguide. We have seen the characteristics of the waveguides with respect to these modes. So there are certain other characteristics which are in general common to all the modes and are particularly of very interest with respect to the waveguides. So these characteristics differentiate the waveguide with respect to the other media such as free space or transmission, conventional transmission lines. So let us discuss these parameters one by one. So firstly, what are the special characteristics that we are going to discuss in these lectures in this lecture? Okay. So firstly, we will be discussing about something called as guide wavelength. Then the next characteristic that we will be discussing will be about the phase and group velocities. Phase and group velocities. Third, we will be discussing we'll be deriving the expression for phase constant of a waveguide. Phase constant of a waveguide is of a wave inside the waveguide. So phase constant, phase and group velocities. Then the fourth topic that we will be discussing will be the expression for wave impedances inside the waveguide, the characteristic impedance or the wave impedance of the waveguide, both in case of transverse electric case and transverse magnetic case. And then we will be discussing the attenuation inside a waveguide. Attenuation inside a waveguide. So these parameters that we discuss, so these are common to both planar waveguides and rectangular waveguides. Only the expressions change. The definitions and their parameter properties will remain same. So these are the very important special characteristic parameters of a waveguide. So that will help us in understanding their behavior and understanding the wave propagation inside the waveguides in a better way. Okay. So we will be discussing one by one. So firstly, so this is the list. So we'll be discussing about guide wavelength lambda g, phase and group velocities, phase constant, right, and then wave impedances of the waveguide and attenuation inside the waveguide. Okay. So let us start one by one. So firstly, what do we mean by guide wavelength? So the first property is a guide wavelength. So we know that wavelength is basically the distance, right? Wavelength basically represents a distance. Okay. So in general, if I consider any in general, so the lambda value, right? Okay, the lambda is represented by c by f. So where c is the velocity and f is the frequency. That is okay. So the ratio of this, the velocity to the frequency, is what we call it as wavelength for any particular wave, isn't it? So this is the general expression. Now, in case of a waveguide, the waveguide also has for any particular waveguide, there is some wavelength associated to this waveguide. So, what does this wavelength means? So, if I consider a simple waveguide like this, so if I have, let us say, a planar waveguide or a rectangular waveguide, whatever, it doesn't matter. So, let us consider a simple waveguide structure that we have. Okay, so yeah, just let me redraw it properly. Okay, so let us say this is my waveguide. So I have got some waveguide structure like this. So I have launched a electromagnetic wave into this waveguide. Now, right inside this waveguide, whatever the signals, whatever the field components that we got, Ex, Ey, Hx, Hy, all of these are sinusoidal signals, either sine wave or cosine wave, traveling along z direction, isn't it? So they will be traveling along the z direction or the longitudinal direction. So in that direction, in that longitudinal direction or in that z direction, okay, so it is the distance traveled inside the waveguide to make or to have the field component change its phase by a 2 pi radian value. Okay, that is, So it is the distance traveled inside the waveguide. Okay, it is the distance traveled inside the waveguide. This is the distance, right? So this is called as lambda g. Okay, so this is the lambda g, right? Lambda g is nothing but the distance inside the waveguide. Okay, that is to be traveled to get or to make this signal change, right? A phase shift of 2 pi radians. Okay, that means, right, the signal is completing one full cycle. Okay, so the field component is completing one field cycle. So it is the distance traveled by the wave inside the waveguide to, right, complete one full cycle. Okay, so what, for completing one full cycle, whatever is the distance traveled by this wave inside the waveguide is called as wave, right, guide wavelength. Okay, so, right, that is okay. So let us define it again. Guide wavelength is the distance. It is the distance traveled inside the waveguide. Okay, it is the distance traveled inside the waveguide by a wave to achieve a phase shift of 2 pi radians, or to make one full complete to complete one full cycle. Okay, so to complete one full cycle, right, whatever the distance the wave takes, okay, inside the waveguide is called as the guide wavelength lambda g. Okay, so if beta is the phase constant of this waveguide, then in general the guide wavelength lambda g can be given as guide wavelength is equal to 2 pi by beta. So this is the formula by which we can calculate the guide wavelength. Okay, simple. So again, what is the final target we want? We want a phase shift of 2 pi radians, and what is the rate at which it is changing? Beta, right? So based on this, right, again the same thing, right? So I will get my distance. Okay, so, right, guide wavelength is the wave, right, is wavelength is the distance traveled or to be traveled inside the waveguide, okay, by a wave to achieve a phase shift of 2 pi radians, or to complete one full cycle inside the waveguide. Okay, so this distance, right, inside the waveguide is called as the guide wavelength. Okay, it is represented by lambda g. Lambda g represents the guide wavelength, and this is equal to 2 pi by beta. Okay, so simple definition, right? So this is the first, right, parameter. Okay, first characteristic parameter. So which is guide wavelength lambda g. Lambda g is equal to 2 pi by beta. Okay. Now let us go to the next special characteristic parameter. So this next special parameter that we have is the phase shift. Okay. So phase shift, okay, or phase constant. Sorry, phase constant of the waveguide. Phase constant inside the waveguide. Okay, so in general we represent this as beta, right? Beta is the phase constant, correct? So what is the right expression for beta inside the waveguide? So phase constant definition we know, it is the rate at which the phase of the signal changes. Okay, so that's what right phase constant is. Okay, so what is the right expression for phase constant in case of waveguide? Let us derive. Okay, yeah. So while deriving the field patterns, we have an expression. We have assumed a constant called as h square or h. So we have derived or we have assumed some constant called as h square is equal to gamma square plus omega square mu epsilon. I think this is the relation which we have been using throughout this right first unit. So this is a very important relation. H square is equal to gamma square plus omega square mu epsilon, where h is a constant. Okay, so it depends upon or it is given by the by the parameters of the waveguide. Okay, so in general, this h value, the value of h is given by m pi by d. So where d is the separation between the two planes. Okay, so if I consider my parallel plane waveguide, if d is the distance between these two planes, then the value of h is given by h is equal to m pi by d. Okay, yeah, let us use this and let us derive the expression for beta. Okay, right. So firstly, we know that for a parallel plane waveguide, we have a relation called as h square is equal to gamma square plus omega square mu epsilon. Now from this, right, the value of h is given by h is equal to m pi by d. Okay, right. Now substituting that here, so m pi by d whole square is equal to gamma square plus omega square mu epsilon. Okay, right. Now we know that gamma, what is gamma? Right, gamma is a propagation constant. So in general, gamma can be written as alpha plus j beta, isn't it? So gamma is a propagation constant. So therefore, gamma value can be written as gamma is equal to alpha plus j beta. Okay, but right, if the wave is propagating, so as right in the previous lectures we have discussed about a concept called as cutoff frequency, right? So there is a minimum frequency, right, beyond which the signal will propagate, and below this frequency the signal will not propagate through the waveguide. Okay, so waveguide, we discussed that it acts as a high pass filter. Okay, the waveguide acts as a high pass filter. So therefore, right, if the signal is propagating, right, that means, okay, the wave, right, the frequency of the wave is above cutoff frequency. So in such cases, right, we discussed it there. In such cases, so if the wave is propagating through the waveguide, that is, if the frequency of the wave is more than the cutoff frequency, so alpha for this wave will be 0 and beta will be some real value and some constant. Okay, isn't it? So alpha will be 0 for this wave, right? So therefore substituting that, so what we get is gamma is equal to j beta. When will this happen? Whenever the wave is propagating. So whenever wave is propagating through the waveguide, we have to assume that alpha is equal to 0, because, right, wave propagation inside the waveguide will happen whenever the frequency of the signal is more than the cutoff frequency. In such cases, the value of alpha will be 0. Okay, right. So assuming, right, using this relation, so we get gamma is equal to j beta. Okay, right. Now let us substitute that here. So what is the expression I get? Yeah, substituting that here. So m pi by d whole square is equal to, right, gamma square is nothing but j beta whole square plus omega square mu epsilon. Okay, right. So this is what I get. Now I want the expression for beta, right? So this will be nothing but j square is minus 1, so minus beta square plus omega square mu epsilon. Okay, so beta square is equal to, so I want the beta square from this. Beta square is equal to, right, what is that I'll get? So I have to send this to this side. So omega square mu epsilon minus m pi by d whole square. Okay, so this is the expression I'll get, right, isn't it? Okay, right. Now, yeah. So, okay, let this be equation 1. Okay, let this be equation 1. Right. Now, let us consider that the frequency of the wave, right? Is this clear? So, till this point, I think it is clear, right? Now, let us consider the condition that the frequency of the signal is just at the right cutoff frequency, at the cutoff point. Okay. So, at cutoff frequency, right? So, in general, we know that gamma square, again, using the same relation, right? H square is equal to gamma square plus omega square mu epsilon. Okay, so using this expression, so gamma square is equal to h square, right, h square minus omega square mu epsilon. Okay, h value can be written as m pi by d whole square, right, minus omega square mu epsilon. So this is my gamma square. Okay, right. Now yesterday we discussed that, right, when we derived the expression for cutoff frequency in the previous lectures. So, right, at the cutoff frequency, my gamma value will be 0. The propagation constant of the waveguide will be 0, right, at a frequency. That frequency is called as cutoff frequency. Okay, so therefore, right, when f is equal to fc or when omega is equal to omega c, gamma will be 0. Okay, so substituting that here, so gamma square is equal to 0, which is equal to m pi by d whole square minus omega c square mu epsilon. Okay, so whenever omega is equal to omega c, my gamma will become 0. Okay, so using this relation, right, using this relation, so I will get m pi by d whole square is equal to omega c square mu epsilon. Okay, isn't it? So whenever I have omega is equal to, right, so again I am taking the same relation, h square is equal to gamma square plus omega square mu epsilon. So from this, gamma square is equal to h square minus omega square mu epsilon. Now here, right, okay, what I am doing, I am considering the case of cutoff. Okay, so cutoff frequency, if the frequency is equal to cutoff frequency, then I can assume that, right, if f is equal to fc, we will get gamma is equal to 0, right? This we discussed elaborately in the previous lectures when the derivation of cutoff frequency. Okay, so at f equal to fc, gamma will be equal to 0. So that is substituting that, I will get m pi by d whole square minus omega square mu epsilon is equal to 0. So which implies m pi by d whole square is nothing but omega c square mu epsilon. So right, we can take, okay, that means we can replace this value of m pi by d whole square by omega c square mu epsilon at all places. Okay, so at any right, we can use this relation everywhere, right? So everywhere this will be valued. M pi by d whole square is equal to omega c square mu epsilon. Okay, right. Now we can write this is also a valid expression of beta square. It doesn't mean that it is not a valid expression. This is also a valid expression, but we can make it more meaningful by substituting this here. Okay, so yeah, let us substitute the beta value. Okay, so let us substitute b in this in beta square. So beta square is equal to omega square mu epsilon minus, okay, in place of m pi by d whole square, I'll write, okay, omega c square mu epsilon. Okay, right. So in both cases, in both terms, I have mu epsilon common. So mu epsilon, right, if I take common, omega square minus omega c square. So beta is equal to, right, root mu epsilon 1 by, right, okay, root mu epsilon, and this is root of omega square minus omega c square. Okay, right. So, okay, this is the expression for beta. So, expression for phase constant of a waveguide, phase constant of any wave inside the waveguide. Okay, right? So, phase constant, okay, we'll just have a quick recap again. Phase constant is generally represented by beta. So, we have to derive this expression for this. So, for this, what I do, I'll start from the very important equation. Okay, h square is equal to gamma square plus omega square mu epsilon. So I will start from this equation, right? So h is equal to m pi by d. I will substitute this value, and gamma is equal to alpha plus j beta. We substitute that. Okay, but because the wave is propagating, we say that wave propagation will happen, means alpha will be equal to 0. So substituting that, gamma is equal to j beta, we substitute and we derive the expression for beta. So the expression that we will get is beta square is equal to omega square mu epsilon minus m pi by d whole square. Okay, now what is this value of m pi by d? So for doing this, or for getting this value, what I am doing, I am writing, okay, so I am using this expression again, h square is equal to gamma square plus omega square mu epsilon. Now in this case, if the omega value is equal to the omega c, that is at cutoff point, gamma value will be 0. So using that, okay, right, I will get my value of m pi by d whole square as omega c square mu epsilon. Now substitute that here. So the final expression for beta will be beta is equal to root of mu epsilon into root of omega square minus omega c square. Okay, so this is the expression for beta, phase constant. Okay, phase constant of the wave traveling inside the waveguide. Okay, so we have derived, okay, we have defined two important parameters, guide wavelength